Hi, welcome to Eco Penny. In this video I'm going to discuss, are EVs the answer to transport, or should we go with something else? So this article was published online by The Conversation. Thanks to Peter for showing me this article. So I'm just going to discuss a few points in this article about EVs. Are they the answer to transport? Should we stick to internal combustion engines, or should we do something else? So this article came out on the 17th of November 2023, as I said, online by The Conversation. The two authors are from Edith Cowan University in Western Australia in Australia. Forgive me if I've pronounced the names wrong. So one of them is Mohammed Azhar, and the other one's Waqar Uzair. Hopefully I pronounce your names right. So this article is just going to discuss, are electric vehicles the answer, or is there something else? Because obviously internal combustion engines, they use oil, which is a finite fossil fuel, and they produce carbon emissions. So they're not great for the planet. So the article basically called "The World's 280 million electric bikes and mopeds are cutting demand for oil far more than electric cars." So basically, there'll be a link to the article in the description below if you want to read the whole thing. Basically it's saying EVs aren't the answer. E-bikes and other active transport, bicycles, mopeds, scooters, whatever, are far better for the environment than everyone rushing out and getting an EV. So one of the quotes, close to half, 44%, of all Australian commuter trips are by car, and they're under 10 kilometres. So most commuting are just short trips in internal combustion cars. So if we can replace these with something else that's more environmentally friendly, it's going to be a lot better for the planet. Even if we have an internal combustion car for long trips here and there, if we replace all these little short commuter trips with something else, it's going to be far better for the planet. So the article goes on to say, so what's the best solution? You might think switching to an electric vehicle is a natural step. In fact, for short trips, an electric bike or moped might be better for you and the planet. That's because these forms of transport, collectively known as electric micro-mobility, are cheaper to buy and run. And also goes on to say, but it's more than that. They are actually displacing 4 times as much demand for oil as the world's electric cars at present, due to their staggering uptake in China and other nations where mopeds are a common form of transport. So basically it's saying all these e-bikes and other forms of transport, bicycles, mopeds, are doing 4 times as good as the current electric vehicles. So it also goes on to say, what's so bad about EVs? A lot of governments around the world are saying everyone should get an EV, planet will be fine, much better for everyone. So it goes on to say, what about electric vehicles, you ask? After all, EVs have been heralded as a silver bullet for car emissions and air pollution in cities, as their tailpipe emissions are zero. If charged with renewable power, they get even greener. But to see them as an inarguable good is an error. They are cleaner cars, but they are still cars, taking up space on the roads and requiring a lot of electricity to power them. Their batteries make them heavier than a traditional car and draw heavily on the extraction of rare earth elements. While EVs are overall much greener than internal combustion engine cars, battery manufacturer can undermine some of the gains. So basically it's saying Sure, EVs, they don't produce emissions as they're driving along, but to manufacture these EVs, they need a lot of rare earth minerals, lithium, cobalt, to make all these batteries, and to mine all these rare earth elements produces a lot of CO2. So to actually produce one electric car, it actually produces a lot of CO2 and other emissions, damages the environment where they're mining all these minerals. So there is a huge environmental cost just to make one electric car. And then to charge it in Australia, there's still a lot of coal-fired power stations. So basically, instead of the emissions coming out of the tailpipe of the EV, like an internal combustion car, you've got the emissions produced by the power station in the coal-fired power station. Emissions produced there instead of being directly produced by the car. So you're sort of replacing one set of emissions with another. So it goes on to say, if you commute on an e-bike 20 kilometres a day, 5 days a week, your charging cost would be about $20 annually, which is pretty minimal. In Australia, electric bikes are rapidly going from a hobbyist pursuit to a serious mode of urban transport. Over 100,000 e-bikes were sold here last year in 2022. And as you know from my channel, as well as a penny farthing, I do a lot of my commuting on my Electrotowny Go e-bike. So I'm a convert to e-bike commuting. So let's dig a bit deeper into this article. So it goes on to say, of course you're unlikely to use electric mopeds or bikes to drive from Sydney to Melbourne. Their real value is in short hop trips, the school run, the milk and bread run, or even the commute, where they take roughly the same time or shorter than a car. So it goes on to say, electric vehicles will play a role in cutting oil demand, but it may well be that electric micro-mobility cuts demand faster, given how fast these cheaper, more plentiful options are being taken up. So it just makes more sense, all these little short commutes that a lot of people do, just to the shops and back, or commuting to work or whatever, if it's over a short distance, if we replace all those little trips with an e-bike or standard bicycle or whatever, it's going to be much better for the planet to manufacture these micro-mobility bicycles and other equipment. It's a lot less intensive. Their batteries are tiny compared to the batteries that are in an EV. Much cheaper to make, much less environmental impact to make each one, and it's much better for the planet. So I've had my e-bike for 5 years now, and I've done over 6,000 kilometres of little short trips over those 5 years. So it's 6,000 less on the car. You know, it's much better for the environment. I've saved over a tonne of carbon emissions already. And also, even in people say, oh, e-bikes, you're not getting any exercise. You're actually still getting about half the exercise as a conventional bike. You still have to pedal it, the motor just helps you. So there are, as well as the planet, health benefits and mental benefits of travelling by e-bike or bicycle or scooter. It's much more healthier for your body and mind. So it's an interesting article. I hope this stirs up a bit of debate. You put your comments below. Do you agree with the article? Do you disagree? Do you currently e-bike or use a conventional bike or scooter to commute? Do you think it will be better for the planet if a lot more people take e-bikes up instead of buying EVs? So, it's an interesting article. So I'm an advocate for e-bikes. It's much easier to e-bike. You still get a bit of exercise, but on my e-bike I can wear normal clothes, normal shoes, just hop on it, ride to the destination. It's much more environmentally friendly, more fun, better for fitness and mental well-being. So I'm really an advocate for e-bikes, but Hope you found this informative. Don't forget to subscribe to EcoPenny if you want to see more videos. Like the video. See you next time. Commute myself every day unless the weather is really bad or I've got to bring a lot of equipment to work. So it's a normal day for me, but hopefully this will encourage more people to ride to work. Why do I ride to work? And a bit of fun in the afternoon on the way back. So just clears your head and just it's a nicer way of travelling, I think.